How's it going, everyone? Austin Honecker here. I just want to come on here for a while and give them a review for All Elite Wrestling's AEW Dynamite from last night, which was April 13th, 2022. I gotta say, it was awesome from start to finish. For the matches, match 1, it was CM Punk versus Penta Oscuro. That was a great match. But the ending to it, CM Punk went over with the GTS. Match 2, it was the Jurassic Express, which are Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus, versus Red Dragon, which are Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish, for the AEW Tag Team titles. That was a great match. But the ending to it, the Jurassic Express went over and retained the AEW Tag Team titles, cause Jungle Boy pinned Bobby Fish with the Thoracic Express from Luchasaurus and Jungle Boy. Well, after the match, as the Jurassic Express, which are Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus, were celebrating their victory, Kyle O'Reilly came into the ring and attacked Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus both with a steel chair and laid them out. And then Red Dragon, which are Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish, left the ring. And while the Jurassic Express, which are Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus, were laying in the ring looking on, well, FTR, which are Dax Harwood and Cash Wheeler, came out, and a stare down between FTR, which are Dax Harwood and Cash Wheeler, and Red Dragon, which are Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish, occurred. And everything. That was cool. Okay. Match 3, it was Shawn Dean versus MJF. That was a great match, but the ending to it, Shawn Dean went over by countout cause MJF couldn't make it back to the ring by the time the referee counted to 10. So, yeah. And so after the match, MJF after the match, as the security escorted Wardlow out of the arena, MJF went back into the ring, and MJF got pissed off at the referee, at referee Bryce Remsburg. So MJF and referee Bryce Remsburg got into a fuss and were yelling at each other and pushing each other and everything. And then Shawn Spears got into the ring and was calming MJF down. And then MJF and Shawn Spears left the ring while referee Bryce Remsburg was still in the ring. And everything. That was cool. That was match 3, by the way. Match 4, it was the Jericho Appreciation Society, which are Chris Jericho, Jake Hager, and Daniel Garcia, versus Eddie Kingston and Proud and Powerful, which are Santana and Ortiz. That was a great match, but the ending to it, the Jericho Appreciation Society went over cause Daniel Garcia pinned Eddie Kingston with a shot in the back with the baseball bat from Chris Jericho. Well, after the match, Matt Menard and Angelo Parker came into the ring and were beating down Eddie Kingston while Daniel Garcia joined in. Well, actually, Daniel Garcia was beating the shit out of Eddie Kingston, and then Matt Menard and Angelo Parker came into the ring and joined in, and then Chris Jericho and Jake Hager joined in on the beatdown as well, but then Santana and then Proud and Powerful, which are Santana and Ortiz, came to Eddie Kingston's aid, but to no avail because the numbers game was too much, because the Jericho Appreciation Society, which are Chris Jericho, Jake Hager, Daniel Garcia, Matt Menard, and Angelo Parker, all beat the shit out of Eddie Kingston and Proud and Powerful, which are Santana and Ortiz. And as that beatdown happened, the Jericho Appreciation Society stood tall, while Eddie Kingston and Proud and Powerful were laid out and everything. That was cool. And that was after the match, by the way. Match 5, it was Marina Shafir versus Sky Blue. That was a squash match, but the ending to it, Marina Shafir went over with the leg capture triangle choke. Well, as Marina Shafir was celebrating her victory, footage went backstage to Jade Cargill and Mark Sterling, and Mark Sterling was taking notes on Marina Shafir because where he thinks she's going to be an intimidating threat to Jade Cargill and everything. But Jade Cargill was sitting there texting on her phone and wasn't paying attention to Marina Shafir and everything. That was cool. That was cool. Excuse me. That was after the match, by the way. Match 6, it was Team Taz, which are Ricky Starks and Powerhouse Hobbs versus Keith Lee and Swerve Strickland. That was a great match, but the ending to it, Team Taz went over because Powerhouse Hobbs pinned Keith Lee with the spine buster. That was match 6, by the way. And match 7, which was the main event, it was Samoa Joe versus Minoru Suzuki for the Ring of Honor television title. That was a great match, but the ending to it, Samoa Joe went over and retained the Ring of Honor television. And match 7, which was the main event, it was Samoa Joe versus Minoru Suzuki for the Ring of Honor television title. That was a great match, but the ending to it, Samoa Joe went over and won the Ring of Honor television title with the Muscle Buster. Now, after the match, Jay Lethal and Sanjay Dutt were on stage, and Sanjay Dutt got on the microphone and was sarcastically congratulating Samoa Joe and everything, and then Jay Lethal was talking about how him and Sanjay Dutt promised Samoa Joe a gift and everything, and then Sanjay Dutt opened the gift, and it turned out to be Jay Lethal's hand, and Jay Lethal flipped Samoa Joe off, and as that happened, the lights went out. As soon as the lights came back on, Satnam Singh appeared, and Samoa Joe turned around, and Satnam Singh attacked Samoa Joe with a clothesline, and then Samoa Joe went out of the ring, and Satnam Singh got out of the ring, and then Satnam Singh picked Samoa Joe up, and Satnam Singh slung Samoa Joe into the steel steps, and then Satnam Singh threw Samoa Joe back into the ring, and well, Jay Lethal and Sanjay Dutt got into the ring, and then Samoa Joe had a hold of Jay Lethal's throat, and and was about ready to choke him, but Satnam Singh got into the ring, and as Samoa Joe had a hold of Jay Lethal's throat, Satnam Singh applied the Kali vice grip to Samoa Joe, and as Satnam Singh had Samoa Joe in the Kali vice grip, Jay Lethal and Sanjay Dutt were stomping on Samoa Joe, beat the shit out of him, and after that was going on, Satnam Singh still had Samoa Joe in the Kali vice grip, and then as Satnam Singh was holding Samoa Joe up, Jay Lethal executed the lethal injection and laid Samoa Joe out. And as Samoa Joe was laid out, Jay Lethal, Sanjay Dutt, and Satnam Singh stood tall. And everything. That was cool. That was after the match, by the way. Now, besides the matches, oh, sorry, I'm a little off track. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Let me see. My apologies. Hold on. Oh, yeah. My bad. Now, besides the matches, AEW showed footage of earlier in the day when, well, the Jericho Appreciation Society, which are Chris Jericho, Jake Hager, and Daniel Garcia, their plane landed at the destination, and they got out of the plane, and Chris Jericho, Jake Hager, and Daniel Garcia, they were all talking about how that's how sports entertainers enter an arena, come to an arena and everything, and then Chris Jericho. Well, that was actually Chris Jericho that was talking about that, but Chris Jericho was getting ready to talk, but Eddie Kingston and Proud and Powerful, which are Santana and Ortiz, were in the car, and Eddie Kingston was talking, and Eddie Kingston was talking shit towards Chris Jericho and everything, and talked about how they were going to kick, how him, Santana, and Ortiz were going to kick the Jericho Appreciation Society's asses and everything as well, and then Eddie Kingston and Proud and Powerful, which are Santana and Ortiz, drove up the road and everything, and Chris Jericho, Jake Hager, and Daniel Garcia, who are a part of the Jericho Appreciation Society, were checking on Matt Menard and Angelo Parker, who are also a part of the Jericho Appreciation Society, because Matt Menard and Angelo Parker were laid out and everything, while Chris Jericho, Jake Hager, and Daniel Garcia was tending to him and everything. That was cool. Tony Schiavone interviewed the Blackpool Combat Club, which are William Regal, Bryan Danielson, Jon Moxley, and Wheeler Yuta. And Tony Schiavone brought up that the Blackpool Combat Club, which are Bryan Danielson, Jon Moxley, and Wheeler Yuta, will be facing the Gun Club, which are Billy, Austin, and Colton Gunn, Friday night on AEW Rampage. Well, William Regal was talking about how he was looking forward to seeing all three of his clients, face off again, have a match together, and talked about how they were going to come out victorious and everything. And then Bryan Danielson was talking about how he gained a lot of respect for Wheeler Yuta because he spit in his face and he bled with Jon Moxley and everything. And Jon Moxley was talking about how he don't know who the Gun Club are, but he heard that they were a bunch of goofs, and that's one thing that AEW doesn't need are a bunch of goofs, and AEW needs to dispose of all the goofs and everything. And then Wheeler Yuta was talking about how he was the Ring of Honor Pure World Champion and how he was gonna help Bryan Daniel. He was gonna fight along with Bryan Danielson and Jon Moxley, and he was gonna kick anybody's ass who gets in their way and everything as well. That was cool. Tony Schiavone interviewed Jamie Hayter and Tony Storm, and Tony Schiavone brought up that about how he was glad that there was no physicality again, and that he got news from Tony Khan that Jamie Hayter and Tony Storm will be facing off in the quarterfinals of the Owen Hart Memorial Cup tournament in the for the women's division and everything. And then Jamie Hayter was saying, you know, Tony, I'm happy that Tony Khan made this match for me and you, because you and I both, we've traveled the world together. We've paid our dues, just like Owen Hart did. But this tournament means more to me than anything. And I am going to kick your ass, and I'm going to advance and win in win the Owen Hart Memorial Cup tournament for the women's division. So, do you have anything to say, Tony? Tony Storm didn't say anything. She just walked off, and then Jamie Hayter said, Oh, that's right, Tony. Walk away like you always do. And everything. That was cool. Yeah. Darby Allin cut a promo saying, Andrade, I want to put this to rest. Next week, I want a coffin match against you, and I want to end this bullshit once and for all, and everything. That was cool. Malachi Black cut a promo talking about how Fuego del Sol craves the attention of the people because the people love him and everything, and talked about how he was by himself because he wanted to relay a message to him, and talked about how he was going to rip his throat out and how he was going to beat the shit out of him and everything as well. That was cool. Alex Marvez interviewed MJF, Sean Spears, and Mark Sterling, and Alex Marvez brought up about Sean Dean picking up the victory against MJF and laughing about it. Well, MJF was saying, you think that's funny, Marvez? You think that's funny? Well, I'm going to say this right now. I am the devil himself. None of you people have to love me. But you really think this is funny that I lost to Sean Dean, which I really didn't lose. It was a fluke. Well, I'm going to tell you right now. Wardlow. Next week, you're not playing around like you have been. Because next week, you pig, I made a deal. Well, Sean Spears gave MJF the money, and then MJF said, "You want some you want to fight next week, you pig? Well, you got it." And then Jose the assistant and the book came along, and MJF said, "Next week, Wardlow, you pig, you will be facing the Butcher." So MJF gave Jose the assistant a wad of money, and the Butcher came along and screamed. And as that was going on, MJF had Mark Sterling read the contract. So Mark Sterling said, "So from here on out, MJF can book Wardlow whenever he wants. He can choose to book him whenever he wants and choose not to book him whenever he wants, and everything." Which all that was cool. Lexi Nair interviewed Hook, and Lexi Nair was trying to get a question out of Hook, and Hook was getting ready to talk, but Mark Sterling and Tony Nese interrupted, and Mark Sterling, before Hook could get a word in, Mark Sterling was saying, "Well, what do you know, Hook? The guy who's getting an interview." And Tony Nese was saying, "That's right, Mark. Hook is the one getting the interview, and I'm not. I'm the premier athlete of AEW, and I'm getting treated like shit." And Hook was getting ready to Tony Nese and Mark Sterling were talking more shit to Hook and everything, and Hook was getting ready to beat the shit out of both Tony Nese and Mark Sterling, but Tony Nese and Mark Sterling, they were saying, whoa, relax, Hook. We're not here to fight. We were just here to give you an interview." And so Tony Nese and Mark Sterling left. Well, Lexi Nair already left whenever Tony Nese and Mark Sterling interrupted Hook. But Tony Nese and Mark Sterling left, and then as Mark Sterling and Tony Nese left, Dan Housen was getting ready to curse Hook again, but Hook took a basketball and threw it at Dan Housen, and so Hook left, and Dan Housen was laid out from that basketball shot and everything. That was cool. Let me see. Yeah. Dan Lambert and Men of the Year, which are Scorpio Sky and Ethan Page, cut a promo, and Ethan Page was saying, Ethan Page was saying, well, Sammy Guevara, the guy who thinks he has to have everything handed to him, and the guy that's been wanting a countless AEW TNT title shot, but would not get it. But now, Sammy, you've gotten it. and Ethan Page continued to talk more shit about Sammy Guevara. And then Dan Lambert was saying, you know, everything you said was right, Ethan. Everything you said is right, Ethan, because Sammy Guevara and Ty Conti are supposedly AEW's favorite couple. What's some bullshit? Because Sammy and Ty, they're going to have another Saturday night together, and Ty's not going to be satisfied? And Dan Lambert continued to talk more shit about Sammy Guevara and Ty Conti and everything. And then Scorpio Sky was saying, you know, Sammy, you don't deserve an AEW TNT title shot. But since you ran my name, Dan Lambert's name, and All Ego Ethan Page's name, and Paige Van Zant's name in the mud, and since you destroyed our car, Sammy, you got your match, and it will be for my AEW TNT title and everything. That was cool. Tony Schiavone interviewed Thunder Rosa, and Tony Schiavone brought up to Thunder Rosa that she'll be defending the AEW Women's title against Nyla Rose at Battle of the Belts 2, at Battle of the Belts 2 and everything. And then, and Thunder Rosa was getting ready to talk, but Nyla Rose and Vicky Guerrero came along, and Vicky Guerrero was talking about how her and Nyla Rose got Thunder Rosa a cake to celebrate her reign as the shortest AEW Women's Champion and everything. And Nyla Rose was talking about how wording everything on the cake would have costed a lot of money, but she's not worth it and everything. And then Thunder Rosa was asking Nyla Rose and Vicky Guerrero if they really thought she was stupid. They both said yes. Well, Thunder Rosa took the cake and bashed it in Nyla Rose's face, smashed it in Nyla Rose's face, and as that went on, Nyla Rose tried to attack Thunder Rosa, but Thunder Rosa moved out of the way, and Nyla Rose accidentally attacked Vicky Guerrero with a forearm shot to the face, and Nyla Rose unintentionally laid Vicky Guerrero out, and Thunder Rosa came pummeling on Nyla Rose and beating the shit out of her, and then Nyla Rose took Thunder Rosa and slammed her up against the wall and was beating the shit out of her, and all the referees had to come and break it up and everything. That was cool. And AEW aired a video package of the build-up of the ongoing feud and the build-up of the match between Hangman Page versus Adam Cole in a Texas death match for the AEW title on AEW Rampage, which that was cool, and everything, which that was cool. Now, besides all that, Jim Ross, Tony Schiavone, and Excalibur done commentary throughout the whole show. They done awesome as usual. The referees for the event were Rick Knox, Paul Turner, Bryce Remsburg, Stephon Smith, and Aubrey Edwards. Okay. Okay. Bryce Remsburg refereed the match between CM Punk versus Penta Oscuro. Rick Knox refereed the match between the Jurassic Express versus Red Dragon for the AEW Tag Team titles. That was Rick Knox, by the way. Bryce Remsburg refereed the match between Shawn Dean versus MJF. That was Bryce Remsburg, by the way. Aubrey Edwards refereed the match between the Jericho Appreciation Society versus Eddie Kingston and Proud and Powerful. Aubrey Edwards refereed the match between Marina Shafir versus Sky Blue. Stephon Smith refereed the match between Team Taz versus Keith Lee and Swerve Strickland. And that was Stephon Smith, by the way. And Paul Turner refereed the match between Samoa Joe versus Minoru Suzuki for the Ring of Honor television title. That's Paul Turner, by the way. So, all the referees done awesome as usual. Now, the match card that's been announced for All Elite Wrestling's AEW Dynamite Wednesday night so far, it's going to be Darby Allin versus Andrade El Idolo in a coffin match. Wardlow versus The Butcher. Hook versus a mystery opponent. Kyle O'Reilly versus Jungle Boy in an Owen Hart Memorial Cup Tournament qualifying match in the men's division. And Ruby Soho versus and Britt Baker versus Danielle Camilla in an Owen Hart Memorial Cup Tournament qualifying match in the women's division. And now, besides the matches that have been announced, Tony Khan will be making a huge announcement. So the match card for All Elite Wrestling's AEW Dynamite Wednesday night looks like it's going to be awesome. Can't wait to see it. I'm looking forward to it. Now, the match card for All Elite Wrestling's AEW Rampage tomorrow night that's been announced, it's going to be Hangman Page versus Adam Cole in a Texas Death Match for the AEW title. The Blackpool Combat Club, which are Bryan Danielson, Jon Moxley, and Wheeler Yuta versus the Gun Club, which are Billy Austin and Colton Gunn, and Ruby Soho versus Robin Renegade in an Owen Hart Memorial Cup Tournament qualifying match in the women's division. So, the match card for All Elite Wrestling's AEW Rampage tomorrow night that's been announced so far looks like it's going to be awesome. Can't wait to see it. Looking forward to it. And the match card for All Elite Wrestling's special event Battle of the Belts 2, it's going to be Scorpio Sky versus Sammy Guevara for the AEW TNT title. Thunder Rosa versus Nyla Rose for the AEW Women's title, and Jonathan Gresham versus Dalton Castle for the Ring of Honor World title. So the match card for All Elite Wrestling's special event, Battle of the Belts 2, looks like it's going to be awesome. Can't wait to see it. Looking forward to it. And that's on Saturday night, by the way. But anyway, I just wanted to come on here for a while and give them a review for All Elite Wrestling's AEW Dynamite from last night, which was April 13th, 2022. Like I said, it was awesome from start to finish. And with that being said, my name is Austin Honecker, and I will catch your ass down the road. Peace out.